Hey, that's Dunbar. You're going to meet him officially in just a moment, and the guy he brought with him. But I do want to tell you there's an event coming up. And if you jotted that Phoenix Urban League number down, good, because you'll know. Otherwise, look it up. The 45th Annual Whitney M. Young Jr. Awards Dinner, honoring Southwest Gas and our friend from Blue Cross Blue Shield, the medical people, the insurance people. Richard Bowles going to be honored Saturday night. There are still tickets available, and it's taking place at the Westin, okay? So you might want to make your plans now to help out the Urban League and help yourself to a lovely dinner. Congratulations to Richard. Well, so I saw this truck in the parking lot of a supermarket, I told you a little earlier, and it said, "Go fetch and bark a lot." My first reaction was, mind your own business. I'm here to get groceries. And then I realized it was maybe one of the best names for any kind of a pet organization ever. And I walked in, and there was the guy that was the Go Fetch and Bark a Lot guy, Brian Willis, the founder of the organization. And the organization is in existence. Why? It's good to see you again.
Hello, nice to see you too. I started the company basically because I couldn't find a level of care for my own dog. When I was working as an executive for a retailer, I got a puppy and wanted, of course, to find the optimum level of care for the dog while I was at the office, and wasn't really happy with what I was seeing out there. So I quit my job and started Go Fetch and Bark a Lot.
You were a suit.
I wore a suit.
You not only wore one, but you were one.
I was.
Right? Right. You were an executive, fairly high-placed businessman.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ever have regrets about making the change?
Not a bit. Haven't looked back at all. It's been about 2 years.
Got enough to buy dog biscuits in Alpo?
I've been doing okay, yeah. And in this economy, I think that's a huge success.
Well, Dunbar looks pretty healthy. Dunbar, obviously, at the peak of his energy level. So excited about being on the Pat McMahon program. Tell me about Dunbar.
Well, Dunbar's actually a female. She's a girl with a boy's name. But
so you'll pardon me. I hope you'll understand that.
She's used to it. She gets it all the time. But she's actually my pace dog. She's about 1.5 years old, and I take her on all the excursions, and she kind of sets the tone for the whole group.
Well, tell me about the excursion and what she's pacing for.
Well, the excursion aspect of the business, I pick the dogs up in the morning from the home, and I take them hiking, swimming, socializing.
Wait just a second. Hold on. Back up. You take them swimming? I mean,
yes.
All you really have to do with some dogs is just put them out by the pool.
Yes, but I actually teach dogs to swim as well. So I get in the water with them. And my belief is that I can't expect the dogs to do anything I wouldn't be willing to do myself. And if it's necessary to get into the pool with the dogs, I do it.
Okay, see? Now you see, those of you who made fun of the host of the show, because I told you about 1.5 years ago that we had a trainer out teaching Bijou, our golden doodle, how to swim. And you wrote the email saying, "Oh, please, dogs just know how to swim. You don't have to get in there." Why don't you tell them about why you give dogs swimming lessons?
Well, your viewers are correct in the sense that dogs do know how to swim instinctively. But the problem with the swimming pools is they don't know how to get in and out of the pool. So the swimming pools have a blind edge, so most dogs are going to be afraid of that edge. They don't have the depth perception to tell how deep the water is. So on a lake environment, it's no problem. The dogs will enter on their own. But
graduated incline.
Exactly.
But boy, I'll tell you, there's nothing more tragic than to see a dog desperately trying to claw its way up the side of a pool.
Absolutely, absolutely. And dogs will just circle that pool over and over until they are fortunate enough to hit the stairs, or if they've been taught where the stairs are at the beginning,
but
of
we
course,
lose
then
some.
they'll find.
I know that we lose some. I read about it every once in a while. What's force-free training?
Force-free training is a training philosophy that I subscribe to that uses techniques to train your dog that don't involve any sort of assertive or aggressive behavior on the trainer's part.
So you don't yell?
I don't yell. There's no loud voices. There's no jerking leashes, no choke chains, pinch collar, shock collar, none of that. It's all done, it's all based on positive reinforcement and a mutually respectful relationship between you and the animal.
How do you get the dog to stop barking? It's the only time we've ever used, I don't want to say shock collar because we have it on the lowest possible level, and all the dog does is turn around and say, oh, okay, you're in the doorway now, I get it.
Stop, yeah.
Okay, but how do you get a dog to stop barking?
Well, this is actually one of the most frequently things I'm asked to rehabilitate dogs for. And the first thing I ask when I enter the home is, why do you want your dog to stop barking?
Because it bothers the neighbors.
Yes, and we all want our dog to bark. When we're not at home, we want people to know that we have a dog there.
Yes.
But what I do is I actually look at the impulse that's creating the barking. Traditional dog trainers will focus on the barking itself, which is a reaction to the impulse. My philosophy is if you can eliminate or interrupt the impulse to begin with, then you don't even have the behavior to deal with.
We got to talk to you about that, because that sounds like one of those things where it's going to take some time. We have a flashcard with a picture of a thief on it that we show the dog so far without a great deal of success. By the way, why should people turn their dogs over to you for exercise or swimming or training? What's your experience?
Well, the experience that the dog has, it's the combination and the variety of the experience throughout the day. First of all, I have the dog for between 8 and 9 hours for the entire day. So it's not like the traditional dog sitter where you're going to just have the dog walk for a half hour, or it's going to go to a daycare left to its own devices in a room full of 40 other dogs.
So you take them on adventures?
I take them on adventures. I socialize them in different social environments, and we work on training. So it's a real jam-packed, intellectually, emotionally, and physically stimulating day.
Do you have any dogs, excuse me, in the interest of time, I got to ask you, do you have any dogs that are with you every day while their owners are at work?
I have dogs. I do have clients that leave their dogs with me every day, yes, Monday through Friday.
How much?
$85 per day.
And what about
that includes a shower or a bath and a massage, though.
Listen, no, that's better than I get at the hotels. Very quickly, I know the price. We also know how to get in touch with you. Can you do this by the hour? Can we just ask you to come over and walk the dog for an hour?
No.
How long is the shortest time?
8 full day.
Okay.
It's a day-long service.
So, see, and if you're not interested in that, well, you know what you can do? You can go fetch and bark a lot. That's what. And Dunbar says, look at that happy face, for crying out loud. And you can also see that Bruce Willis is pretty happy since he dropped his suit and just wore dog training stuff. This is Pat McMahon. Stay with us.